I'm dreaming إنه يبقى this is just a start إن إحنا نكمل كل شهرين، وأنا بفكر إن أنا آخد سلسلة في أول مرة، في أول محاضرة يعني. السلسلة هتمشي حوالين ال foundation and the basics of what we have. We are building the concept, and because if I say to someone, we need to pray the liturgy, the immediate question, why? Because the church and the Bible said so. Okay? And what about the Bible? The Bible is God's word. Very good. So who said that the Bible is God's word? Okay? And if I don't, Jesus Christ said so. And who said that I believe in Jesus Christ? Come on, Jesus Christ is God's Son. Who said that I believe in God? So I think the foundation of talking to anyone, especially for the youth that we have nowadays, is to start from the beginning, to talk about the existence of God. And then after the existence of God, we will talk about the authority of the Bible. How to be sure that the Bible is the main resource that we should take as the 100% trustable knowledge. Because if we don't trust the Bible, so we are not trusting God's word. If we are not trusting God's word, so what we are trusting? So this is how I started to think about it, to have this series of lectures to build the foundation from the very, very basics regarding the existence of the Creator, and then the authority of the Bible, and then the authority of the church, and the trust that our church is the church that we can depend on. We can make sure it's not just a church as any other church. How to be sure that yes, I want to belong to the Coptic Church. Do we belong to the Coptic Church because we are in the Coptic Church, or we are sure of the Coptic Church? Many people, they ask me that, how come I just gave up my career and I became a monk? I didn't do that just simply. I personally, I digged a lot, and I searched a lot, until I'm 100%, according to my knowledge, that I'm 100% sure of my Christianity, my belief in God, my Christianity, and my Coptic Church. It's not something that it could be, no. And this is what I want to do with you in this lecture and the lectures after. So the first thing that we are going to do, we are going to divide this lecture today into two parts. The first part is the mindsets, and then we will go for the existence of God, of the Creator. Why I want to discuss the mindsets and the way of thinking? It's a huge subject. I'm not going to say every details about everything in this total an hour lecture or less, because it's impossible. But I will summarize what you can find in books, what you can find in the YouTube, what you can find in different lectures, all what you can find that they are revolving around certain ideas. I will just touch these ideas. But before I'm examining any idea, I need to know how I'm thinking. Because many people, they go into the story without thinking how they are thinking. And this is a huge subject. They call it the knowledge of the knowledge. The knowledge of the knowledge is how I know what I know. How I know what I know. And how I know that what I know is real. And how I know that what I know is real and correct. The problem that many times we go to examining if it is correct or not without examining before how I knew this, how it came to my knowledge. Maybe I knew it by my mom said so, and she's getting it just from the culture. And I'm taking it for granted. I'm taking it as this is the full truth. Or I'm getting it from the TV, or I'm getting it from someone, or many people, they said it, so I'm considering that it is true. So it's very important for me to make sure of the knowledge that I have, to ask myself how I knew it, how I know what I know. For example, just to make it, sometimes people, they say to me, I have this for a very long time, people say to me, you say things sometimes difficult. To make it simple. Now you know that Abuna Dawoud is giving a lecture. Yes? How do you know that? We are listening, where we can see it. Okay. So you know the information by listening and seeing it. But who said that this is true? It can be a dream. It can be a dream.
Can be.
It can be a dream. Sometimes we attend a very long lecture in dream. Or we attend something for a very long time and events and happening and in dream. So I want to know how I know the information, and I want to know that this is real. Sometimes we say it to each other, hit me to when I see something which is very amazing, or I'm wondering, is it true? Hit me to am I awake? Okay. So I want to know that it is true. But knowing that I know it and it is true, that doesn't mean it is correct. Could be Abuna Dawoud is giving a lecture, yes. I know it is true. I had that many ways. I have other people, and all of them, they said, no, you are not dreaming, we are in the church and this is reality. But could be all what he's saying is incorrect. So these subjects, it's a huge subject, and it goes to the artificial intelligence, and this is the basics of the artificial intelligence which is used in the computer, and that's something very big. I don't want to take all of that, but I want to go to this is what will make me free. We have different mindsets. It doesn't make sense to me. That is because it doesn't relate to your way of thinking. Sometimes we consider that what is correct is what makes sense to me. And this is one of the very deceiving sentences. Everyone is using it. Abuna, come on, it doesn't make any sense to me. I'm so happy that it doesn't make any sense to you. If all the information that you are getting is getting from somewhere where it shouldn't be, so the information that you have is incorrect. So if this makes sense to you, so definitely it is incorrect. If someone, all the information that he has is the muscles and the power of the muscles and what he can do. So when I talk to him about something spiritual, it doesn't make any sense to him. But that doesn't mean it is incorrect. It doesn't make sense to him because his information is directed in a certain way or illogical. So when I say it doesn't make sense to me, I shouldn't take this as a proof that it is incorrect. It doesn't make sense to me, it doesn't make sense to the information that I got before. But it has nothing to do with the correctness or the reality. So we need to have a correct mindset. You need to understand the knowledge and understand how to prove that this knowledge is true and correct. We have many ways. It is another deceiving ways. If we take just one of them, I will show you examples for that. But the logic, it's the most logical thing that to use the logic. Definitely. If we are talking about something, we need to use the logic. But the logic alone, it can lead to the truth? No. How is that? If we have two persons, the first one, he has a very strong logic, and the second one has a very weak logic. But unfortunately, that the second one is defending the truth, and the first one is defending the out. So this conversation will lead to, we will adopt the strong logic. So the logic take us to illogical situation. So by worshipping the logic alone, by worshipping the philosophy alone, that can lead to incorrect situation. So we cannot worship the logic by itself. Come on, Abuna, do you want that we be illogical or we don't use the logic? It's impossible to say that I'll not use the logic, because if I'm not using the logic, my talk to you will be illogical. But to worship the logic, just worshipping the logic and take it for the end of it, that's not the right way. Some people, they are very fascinated with the history. It was discovered that this and that. The history. Who said that the history is correct? Who said that those who wrote the history were just honest people? And it's between the history and the science. You know, all of you, you heard about Lucy. You know, definitely you know Lucy. Anyone doesn't know Lucy? Lucy, one of the scientists, he made a skeleton, full skeleton, and he called her Lucy. And he said that he discovered her in Africa, beside Ethiopia. And he said that Lucy is our grandmother. And he started to prove that. I remember one day I was talking to Hani. You know Hani, the one, now he is in Qatar, and the physician. He told me that one of the professors, he took them to see this Lucy. So the professor said, "This is Habubitko in Sudanese, that this is your grandmother." So he said to him, "Prof, di Habubtak barak, ma Habubti ana." Prof, this is your grandmother alone. It's not my grandmother. And the problem that 10 years later, the same scientist, he admitted that he made it up. He didn't discover it. He didn't find it honestly. But he collected these parts of the bones and he made it together, and he made this skeleton to make this achievement. So the history alone can be very deceiving. So we will neglect the history? Definitely we will not neglect the history. But to worship the history is not. Science. I will jump science because I will take you into the next slide, and something will be interesting. But miracles. Some people, they consider that if miracles happening, this is completely true. We need to understand that miracle is not a way to prove the faith. Come on, Abuna, it's a miracle. Even the miracle. Let us put it in this way. We are in front of Musa, Aaron, and Pharaoh. And we have the magicians. The first one, he made the first miracle. Who? Musa. He threw the stick, it became snake. Very good. The magicians, they did the same thing. They threw their sticks, it became snakes. I will take from the picture Musa and his God. Now, we have the magicians and we have Pharaoh. And they threw their stick and became snakes. Is it a miracle? It is a miracle. If the miracle is a proof of the faith, I should adopt the faith of those magicians. So the miracle is not a proof for the faith. And sometimes it's very deceiving. So we don't run after miracles. The miracles are supporting, but they are not the proof. Do we neglect the miracles? We don't neglect the miracles. Do we deny the miracles? We don't deny the miracles. But we don't worship any way of this. We listen, we understand, but we don't worship anyway. I will return back to the science. Because many people, they are very fascinated with the science. It is scientifically proven, so and so. So if it is scientifically proven, so and so, so we have to just worship and bow down. While it is the biggest deceiving way of thinking that we have nowadays. So I will show you a scientific way of thinking. It's a mathematical trick. X squared minus x squared is equals x squared minus x squared. Definitely yes. The given in the upper okay? So I will make it x minus x times x plus x. It equals, I will take x as a common factor, so it's x minus x. This is definitely correct. We have a math teacher here. She approved it. Very good. So we have x minus x with x minus x. So we have x plus x equals x. So we have 2x equals x. We will take x with x. So we have 2 equals 1. The theory, it says that if the given is correct and the derivatives are correct, so definitely the result should be correct, and we should consider that this is a new information for us. This is the theory. And this is science. But because we know that 2 cannot equal 1, we start to look backward and say, there is something wrong. Where it is? And maybe it's very difficult, if not for all of us, for many of us, to find where is the incorrect step. X squared minus x squared, yes, definitely it equals x minus x times x plus x. The 2 brackets are very correct. To have x as a common factor, it's x minus x is very correct. To have x minus x with it's the same x minus x with x minus. So to have 2x, x plus x, it's 2x, definitely. And we have x. There is a very, very, very tiny mistake. Any number over the same number, it is 1. Except in 2 cases. 0 over 0 or infinite or over infinite. So x minus x is 0. So to take those x minus x together, that means I'm dividing both sides with x minus x. So having x minus x over x minus x, that having 0 over 0 is not 1. This very tiny mistake, mathematical mistake, would take us to believe now on that 2 equals 1. I saw just a comic video, they made it to criticize how the media and the way of thinking in America nowadays, and they say that a teacher, a math teacher, she was teaching the students and she said 2 and 2 is 4. So one of the students, he said to her, no, it's 22. She said, no, Habibi, 2 plus 2 is 4. He said, no, 22. So she started to get nervous, and she said to him, "You need to listen. 2 and 2 is 4. He returned back home very upset. He complained to his parents. His parents came and complained to the headmaster, and it became a very big scene, and the newspapers and the TV and the interview and things like that. And finally, they decided that she is not accommodating all the ideas, and she is not accepting, and she should be broad-minded, and she's this and she's that. So they decided to dismiss her from the school because she is not up to the nowadays levels. So the head teacher was talking to her, and I'm sorry, we have to dismiss you, and we want to give you your final balance. You are taking 2,000 per month, and we will give you another month, so we are giving you 4,000. She said, no. You got it. So this is one of the very important things to convince people that they worship science. Because many people, they say, it is scientifically proven. Who said it is correct? Yes, it is scientifically proven until today. If they are honest. As I will discuss the next part, I will show you many dishonesty in this. So we have logic, history, science, miracles. So we need to listen, understand, but not to worship. We should not take any of this as for granted. I think that I finished the first part, and I will start the second part. The proof of the existence of the Creator. In this one, I will imagine that we have two theories. One of them is atheist, and the other one is theist. The theist, they say that there is a Creator, and He is the source of the existence, and He is the source of everything, and they have the definition of this Creator. They have the full definition of the Creator. This is their theory, and I will examine that scientifically. I'm not examining that according to the Bible. I'm not examining that according to the Christianity. I'm just examining that logically and scientifically and from the history and all of the ways of proving the knowledge, but I'm not worshipping any of them. So I will examine the two theories with 4 questions. From where we got the existence? From where we got the life? From where we got the design? From where we got the morality? We will ask the two theories those 4 questions. And we will discover that the theists, they have enough evidence and strong logic and scientific information to answer those 4 questions more than the atheists. So, from where we got the existence? Atheism revolves around the Big Bang. Their answer that we have the Big Bang. That's a wonderful answer, a very nice answer, and could be a very correct answer according to what they claim it is the scientific answer. Yes, but again, you answered the next step answer. I'm asking from where we got it. So you said from the Big Bang. From where we got the Big Bang itself. Could be another bigger Big Bang. Very good. And from where we got that bigger Big Bang. And we will continue. Another bigger Big Bang. So we don't have the origin. We need to find somewhere from where we got it. But the theory, it says by itself that we have an entity. This entity, we call it the Creator, and He is existing by Himself. And I found a very nice answer. Amber Rafael said it like a month ago or something like that, that he said, they asked him, who founded God? Who created God? He said, that's a very nice question. And he had a cup of water in front of him. So he took a piece of paper and he dropped the piece of paper in the water. And he asked, what made this piece of paper wet? They said, the water. He said, wonderful. And he took a handkerchief from his pocket and he put it in the water. And he asked the same, what made this handkerchief wet? They said, again, the water. He said, very good. Should I need to do the third time or the fourth time? Or that's enough? But I have a question. Who made the water wet? So they laughed. The water is wet because that's the water. Its definition, its feature. It is wet by itself. It doesn't need anything to make it wet. So when we ask who created the Creator, that's His name. He is the Creator. Okay, maybe this is a very weak, and we can accept it or we can refuse it. We can go to the second one. Where did life come from? From where we got the life? The atheist believes in amino acids, and the amino acids create the protein and this nice story. And unfortunately, they say that this is the most correct scientific theory discovered till today. Why? It is proven, it is scientifically incorrect. I will show you now. Number one. They take the kids to the lab and they make alloy, which is ammonia and nitrogen, and they make the electric spark, and by this electric spark they get the amino acid. So they say it, they jump and say, we created amino acid, so if we have amino acids, so we can have the other amino acids, and we have amino acids, so we have the protein, and if we have the protein, then we have the living cell. The answers. Number one, the geologians, they said it never happened in this atmosphere that we got this alloy. Never happened. This is the first answer. Okay, maybe they are not very correct in this. Maybe it happened once and never again. Okay. The second one. We need like 20-something different types of amino acids. So it happened accidentally, by chance, on one spot of the face of this earth, that the alloy happened and the spark happened and we had the first kind of amino acid. And that amino acid was just waiting and sitting until the accident happened again, that the second kind of amino acid happened. And they were sitting together and talking to each other, waiting for the third one to come, and the fourth one, and the fifth one, and the sixth, and the seventh, and the 10th, and the 15th, and the 20th. I think they are 22 or 23, something like that. So we need to calculate the possibility. One of the mathematicians, he calculated and he found it is 1 over 10 to the power 138. What that means is the possibility that this happens by this assumption. That's 1 over 1, and you can write zeros, 138 zeros in front of this one. This is the possibility. It's not 1 in 1,000. 1 in 1,000, 3 zeros. 1 in million, 6 zeros. 1 in million, 12. 1 in million, 18. 1 in million, 24. 138, which is mathematically it's equals to 0. Never happened. Again, one of the scientists, he said a very nice answer. We don't need to create the amino acids. We have protein, and from the protein we can find these different kinds of amino acids. Have them in your hand and create for us a new protein. We will be very happy if you can do that for us. You have the different kinds of amino acids, you can do it and make them together and put them together and create the protein. Also, having the protein doesn't mean that we have the life. If we have just a piece of meat, having it from a cow or whatever, and having it on the side, it is a protein, but it is not a living protein. It's not alive. From where we got the life? They are jumping, they are dividing x minus x over x minus x. They said as long as we have the amino acid, that means we have the protein and we have the protein, so we have the living cell, and they continue. No, wait. Having the amino acid doesn't mean that we have the protein, and having the protein doesn't mean we have a living cell. So the first question, from where we got the existence. The second question, from where we got the life. Number 3, from where we got the design. From where we got the design. I can accept that wind can make a pile of sand. That's very acceptable. But to tell me that the wind can make a high-rise tower with stairs, corridors, living rooms, kitchens, bathrooms, elevators, it cannot. It cannot happen accidentally. This design is a very sophisticated and strong design. And the designer should be in a very good communication or unity with the producer. Because the designer, he asked the producer, I need something to be skin, okay? And I need something to work as kidney, okay? And I need something to work as bone, okay? All of that I'm talking about this design, just this design. And who made the very, very, very intelligent and sophisticated design that the millions of information that we have, it's all embedded in one cell. You cannot see it with your eyes from the male, and one cell from the female. Both together, they create a new product of the same type, having millions of information. How the mouth big, and how the lips, and how the eyes, and how every details, it is embedded, coded in this very tiny cell. Who made this design? It cannot be what the so-called the intelligent selection or the natural, what's that? Evolution. Evolution. They call the evolution, or they call it sometimes that it is the intelligent natural selection. They sometimes like to say it in this way to give it shiny way of putting it. But it cannot happen. Definitely in the history, we didn't see one full example of evolution. Never happened. They claim that our grandfather was ape. Okay. But when we go in more deep, we discover that the genetic construction of the human being is nearer to the pig, not the ape. The skeleton is nearer to the ape, but the genetic construction is nearer to the pig. Few weeks ago, I was talking to someone who is very scientific. So he laughed. He said, maybe our grandparents were pigs. So I told him, that's good for you. His parents are relatives to me. I said, it's good for you, but not for me. Yeah. So they show us and they deceive us. And one of the scientific deceiving that they start to take the skeleton, they never discovered a full skeleton. But they take what they found and they build that through the imagination, the full skeleton. And the most deceiving part is they build the soft parts, which is impossible. You can get it from the skeleton. I cannot make these features, because if you take my skull, you cannot show how my eyes look like or how my cheek look like, but they imagine and they say they look like this. So it's complete deceiving. From the design, it's impossible to have this design unless we have a true creator. And this creator is a very, very big in intelligence and very good in communication with the producer, which is the source of the creator, the source of the existence, which is the creator also. So we can find that the theism is consistent in their answer. The atheists, they just have something here and something there and something here and something there, and there is no consistency in their answers. The last part, that's a good example also. They say also that because of the need, it happens the evolution. And the most famous thing that they talk about is the giraffe. They say because they needed the food, and all of the food in the lower levels finished, so they had to keep elongating their necks, so their neck became very long to get. I have some questions. Giraffe, they were very intelligent to do that, but the deer, they did not. The deer were very stupid, just staying beside the earth, and the only one intelligent is the giraffe. And also they say the same thing about the zebra. The zebra, they started to have these lines to hide how intelligent they are, but the deers, they are not. They are very stupid. But the zebra, they are very intelligent. They can do it to themselves. What the comic answer? And unfortunately, they give it as a science. And unfortunately, again, that the people from the church, they start to open their mouths and say, wow, Really? We need to return back how we get the information and how to know that the information that we are getting is true and correct. And I hear from one of the, he's a lecturer more than a scientist. He gave this example, I amazed with this example. He said, okay, I will talk to this egg. The evolution, it says, because of the need, so the body configuration evolved. He said, wonderful. And he said that in this egg, we have 5,000 holes. The eggshell, we have 5,000 holes. Those holes to let the air in for the chick to breathe. Okay? If they make it the same area, the same surface area, with lower number, so we have to make the hole bigger. So it's not keeping the yolk inside the egg. If they make it with a bigger number, so they make it smaller to keep the same surface, so that will make the eggshell weaker, so it will break. Who made this design? The chicken, I think, in this way of very scientific way of thinking, the chicken, the early chickens, they laid the egg, and they looked to it. Oh, come on! I made it very bad. So next time I have to improve the. So the next time she tried to improve it, and she was successful.
Organic egg.
And she made it very strong. She made it very strong. But unfortunately, she made it very strong, but she killed the chicken side. Come on. So I have to correct it. This one of the strongest evidence that I found. It's very simple, but it's very scientifically correct and very scientifically proving that the theory of the evolution is bunch of, you know the word. Morality. I think you are tired. And morality is the most difficult one. It's because it's very philosophical. I will ask you, what's the height of my hand? Meter. Yes? All of you agree it's meter?
Meter and a quarter.
Meter 15? This way it's meter? You agree that this is meter?
Yeah.
What do you say? تحت شوي. Okay. This is a meter. Okay.
That's very mean of you.
Okay. You know what? It's not a meter or meter 20 or meter 15. It's like 2 meters from outside. Who said that I'm measuring it from here?
Why do you pull the direction of your hand?
Working this way.
Why it is not it's minus few meters from the ceiling? Why it is not couple of hundreds from the sea level? Why it is not? If we don't have a reference, we cannot say anything. This is the need of the reference. So in morality, if we don't have a reference, we don't have morality. I will give you a very good example. I will ask each one of you what is the best thing that you like, and I will do it for you. And after making you the happiest, I will give you the next present is just one bullet. That's it. I made you to spend the rest of your life very happy, and that's it. Why you should suffer? Who can say that what I'm doing is immoral? I did a very good thing to you. I took you, making you the happiest for the rest of your life, and that's it. And you don't need to suffer. The only way to say that what I'm doing is immoral, that there is a giver of this life. He is the owner. I cannot take it. It's not in my authority to take your life because I didn't give it to you. So if we don't have a reference, we don't have what's so-called morality. Who said that taking money from people and give it to others, it's immoral? It's very moral. So that's a very good approval for working as a profession as a thief. I'll spend the rest of my life doing that. Rob the banks and take the money and give it to the poor. Better than being a monk. I'm helping people. Who said that this is immorality? If we don't have a reference for morality, we cannot say that this is moral or immoral. Sometimes they contradict this with they saying that the morality is the code in the human being. Who embedded it in the human being? Who embedded it in the human being? It's not the culture. Because if they discovered just a few months ago tribes in Amazon and things like that, they are just naked people. They don't know anything about civilization but they are moral. They have a code in them, it's embedded in them. It's not the civilization. So the morality is the fourth one. I will touch few things people they ask about it, that the pain, the source of pain, and why God allowed the pain, and all of these things that people they are fascinated with talking about it. Normally when someone he comes to me and talk about these things, my answer, I don't answer these questions. Why I'm not answering these questions? Simply because I say to him, if I'll ask you what color we should paint the wall, you immediately will ask me, which wall? In which building? Which floor? Which room? Which side? We will use it for what? Many other questions before we talk about the color. So if I see someone, a man who is beating a boy in the street, I cannot say that this man is not his father. It's illogical. I can say this man is harsh man. Could be. But I cannot say that he is not his father. To prove that he is his father or not, I need birth certificate or a DNA test. But not because he is beating him, he is not his father. Maybe he is a very harsh God. He likes that people suffer. Maybe. This is not the way to answer the question. The way to answer the question is to find the existence of the Creator somehow else, but not by asking such question like suffering, and as long as there is pain, there is no God. What's the relation? You know, definitely you know what Descartes said. I doubt then I'm. I think this. I doubt. Then that means I think that I am existing. Until there is answer for that, you doubt. and you think, but this has nothing to do with the existence. Because you could think and doubt in your mind, in your imagination. To prove the existence, it needs something else. Definitely he used the existence not for the physical existence. He has his way, but I'm using this way to make the analogy or the similarity of the way of thinking. So to say that because of there is pain in the world, that means there is no God, that's nothing. Meaningless. There is pain in the world, maybe he's a harsh God. Who cares? I personally, I don't care. This is not my point of thinking now. I want to prove if he is existing or not. If he is existing, now we can ask him why there is pain. How do you see this pain? Is it a real pain or not? We can start to think about these questions, but it has nothing to do with the proving of the existence.
Can I come to answer for that?
أنا خلصت. You can comment. You can hammer with questions. We can gather the questions and improve what I said, because this is just a trial to start of thinking. If you read many books, you will discover that all of the books, they are revolving around those ideas, but they are in much, much deeper. Go ahead.
I was just asking about this last point. With a counter argument being that what if there is beauty in the world? And there is pain, there is beauty. Does that mean that there is a God? Yeah, I'm just questioning if someone is using this as an argument that there is pain in the world, and there must not be a God out there. Isn't
Could be.
There is.
Could be this a way of answering that because there is pain, but there is beauty. Could be. But my way of answering, I say, I don't answer this question. This has nothing to do with the existence of the Creator. This can lead us to prove that He is a very harsh Creator. Who cares? This is not what we are talking about. What we are talking about, the existence of the Creator. So, there is a Creator, there is no Creator. I'm not talking about the features of this Creator. He is nice, he is harsh, he is easy, he is blood-loving. That's all features in Him, but this has nothing to prove that He is existing or He is not existing.
I think we can argue now neither science or history or whatever can prove that there is there is a creator. By the same token, we believe that, as I said, the atheist, the non-believer, they don't believe in God, but the other people, we believe in God, and that is faith. Again, faith is difficult to prove. Difficult, you can tell me. I mean, for instance, the simple things we attend here at the church every Sunday, and we get the bread, we eat it, we take it as body of Jesus. What faith is that? I mean, if anyone, you tell me, what are you doing? I mean, you baked this bread in the back of the church, and this wine, you put it in the vessels, and now you tell me you transfer it by 2 words or something. It's difficult to explain it to him. I have no power or no one, so it is faith. Faith is something, I cannot explain it. So it's either you have the faith, which is faith to me from our parents, from our church, from our Bible, from whatever, from the culture, from the way we are brought up, or you don't have faith, you don't believe in that, so good luck to you. Very difficult to explain it.
Anyone can just have an idea to answer this or to help in answering this?
Yeah, I think it's.
I don't want to be the only speaker. I just want to continue.
I think as you walk through life, you'll find out that there is certain things which guides you and helps you through it sometimes. And there is, these forces are external to what you do. And by saying external, it's nothing to do